Hi everyone, it's Roger here from what's on DisneyPlus.com with a quick news update for you guys on Mulan. But before we go any further, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest Disney Plus news. So as we know, Mulan had its original release date moved from March back into July the 24th because of the current global crisis with the coronavirus. And that all sounded great when they kind of made this big move back in April. However, as we are coming closer to that release date, things aren't quite looking quite as rosy as we all hoped, because ultimately cinemas aren't going to be back to normal by July. Now, for example, here in the UK, cinemas can't really open up till maybe at the possibly earliest of July the 4th, and even then they're going to have restrictions of how many people can sit in there. And in other countries, they're going to be starting to open up. In the US, while in some states cinemas are already open, and they've also got the ability to have drive-in cinemas, which is something a lot of people keep bringing up, but that's something that doesn't really exist so much outside of the US. And even in the northern states and like Canada, it's less used because of weather. For example, here in the UK, there is actually only a couple of drive-through cinemas in the whole country, so it's not really something they could use. And the big problem going forward is, essentially, with Mulan, it needs to be released in China to bring back some of the money that it's cost to make, because it's cost over 200 million. But also with the US, with some of the states and some of the cities, for example, San Francisco isn't going to be opening up cinemas till mid-August. So if that happens there and it happens in like New York and Los Angeles, we could end up with a situation where just cinemas are just not open when Mulan needs to come out. Will Disney push it back again? I don't know, is the other going to get to a situation where they can't keep pushing things back because it's going to be delaying other things and trying to get it all in? According to the Analyst, Michael Nathanson, he's predicting that Disney are going to end up kind of killing off this release for Mulan and either going for a digital release with the idea of getting it out onto Disney Plus by Labor Day in September, or alternatively just putting it straight onto Disney Plus. The big reason for this is they are going to be extremely lucky to even be able to get back 50% of what they would usually do for these kind of movies. Because obviously, big Disney movies, they want to make $1 billion at the box office. If they can do maybe 500 million, it'll be deemed a success right now. And that's looking very, very unlikely because, like I said, with cinemas not being open in some places, and also with the lack of space in cinemas because they're not going to have the full capacity. And also, are people really going to want to go back and sit in a theatre? I know there's a lot of people that are, but there's a lot of people that aren't. And so this could end up speeding up how quickly Mulan gets released at home. Now, I personally believe that it will probably end up coming to cinemas that are open. That Disney is just going to put it out and go, look, we're going to put it out. It's in the cinemas that are open and they're available, and that's great. But they're also end up going to be doing like a premium digital release, maybe at the same time or a couple of weeks later, and then rush it onto Disney Plus for possibly September. I recently did another video about a potential release date for Mulan for the end of October, and it quickly got removed. This could be a reason for that, or it could just been completely wrong. This is very similar to really what happened with Pixar's Onward. It hit cinemas, they were able to get about $100+ million back in, so enough to cover most of the costs of the movie. They then rushed it onto digital and then rushed it onto Disney Plus in some regions, and I would not be at all surprised if something happens similar with Mulan, where they're going to try and get it out quickly and trying to get it into as many people's hands as possible, because people are not going to be going to the cinema and waiting 6-8 weeks for it. They would, a few weeks later they might be able to do it. When you look at what Universal did with Trolls World Tour, where they actually took more money with the second movie on digital platforms than they did at the cinema for the first one. Warner Brothers have also done this with Scoob. I think the whole thing of whether or not with movie theatres, whether or not they agree with it or not, if they're saying to them, well, we are going to release it if you've got them open, but you're not all open, so we're still going to have to do this other thing. I don't know. Things are moving so fast. Disney have stated in the past they're going to be looking at movies on an individual basis. I would not be at all surprised if some of those other movies in August do the similar kind of thing with like New Mutants and also The One and Only Ivan. Now, the interesting thing with that One and Only Ivan, we've not seen a single image of it. We don't know what the trailer looks like. We don't know what the budget. We know nothing. So that one might be more likely to be maybe a Disney Plus movie. But Disney are also going to want to put some movies out, test the waters, see what they can do. And those kind of movies like New Mutants could be a good way of doing that. And then also just rushing through a digital release. Though unfortunately with New Mutants, because it is a 20th Century Studios movie, it can't come straight to Disney Plus in the US. But internationally things are a little bit different, and it could be put onto there a little bit earlier, depending on those existing contracts. Obviously right now so much stuff is keep moving. In another 6 to 8 weeks, things could be very different from where they are right now. and it might be easier to kind of get back to some kind of normality. However, with the restrictions in where how many people that can go into cinemas and whether or not people want to go, and if some places have even opened up their cinemas, one of the big issues with Mulan coming straight to Disney Plus is primarily the budget. It's a $200 million budget movie, even more so now with extra advertising costs. That is way higher than anything we've seen on Disney Plus. For example, Togo just cost over $40 million to make, Lady and the Tramp was just over $60 million, and Timmy Ferrier was just over $40 million. So you can essentially make nearly 4 to 5 movies on a Disney Plus budget compared to Mulan. Then you look at Artemis Fowl, that has a budget of $125 million, though that one's in a slightly different position of when it was supposed to come out and kind of the reactions to it that we've seen so far. I'm looking forward to it, but we're going to have to wait and see when that one arrives on Disney Plus on June the 12th. But right now, everything is in flux, everything is moving around, and yeah, things could change so much in the next 6 to 8 weeks. Like I said, I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you think the Mulan release is going to go in the comments below. Go check us out over at whatsondisneyplus.com. Like, follow, and subscribe, and I shall see you guys in another video. Laters.